You ever have one of those moments where you realize the people supposedly in charge are just making it up as they go? Yeah, that happened to me. And it all started with a boat, a lake, and one woman who thought a clipboard gave her the keys to my whole world. See, the HOA fined me for refusing to pay some made-up fee on my own fishing boat. A boat I'd used to teach my daughter how to cast a line. A boat that was pretty much the last place on earth where I felt close to my late wife, Sarah. Then, just to put a cherry on top, the president. Let's call her Karen, because what else could she be called? Banned me from the water. She literally created her own exclusive fishing club, a little fiefdom just to rub it in my face, thinking she had all the power in the world. Well, she had no idea what was coming. Not only did I fight back, I bought the entire lake and evicted her whole club. But the thing that really brought her down? She never saw the secret I was about to uncover. A secret proving her whole reign was built on a lie. Now, before I take you through the meat grinder that was this takedown, let me just ask, where are you watching this from? Drop it in the comments, because honestly, you're going to want to weigh in. And if you think homeowners should never be bullied by fake tyrants, yeah, maybe hit that subscribe button, because I promise, you won't want to miss the part where she gets exactly what she deserves. So, the lake. Man, that was my church. My little sanctuary. Sarah picked that spot with me years ago, before she got sick. A small house. Nothing fancy, just a patch of land that sloped right down to the water. The boat. 14 feet of tired aluminum, a beat-up old motor, but it was ours. It's where I taught my daughter Lily to bait a hook, where we'd drift in the fog just to get a slice of peace after 20 years of service. One Tuesday morning, I'm pulling the old girl out for her annual maintenance. Water's glass, air is sharp. I'm elbow-deep in grease and lake muck, feeling that deep, honest satisfaction you only get fixing things yourself, when I spot a letter stuck to my front door. Official-looking envelope, that HOA logo. Cheesy little sun over a perfectly mowed lawn, already peeling off at the corners. I rip it open, and bam, final notice. Unpaid HOA fees. Watercraft. According to Karen, I owe $350 for owning a boat, for having it parked on my driveway for a couple hours. I read it 3 times, thinking maybe I'd lost my mind. Nope. There it was, signed by the Queen herself. I show Martha, my wife now, and she just sighs the way people sigh when they know a fight's coming. Just pay it, Jack. It's not worth the headache. But it's not about the money. It's theft. There's no bylaw about boat fees. I checked when we moved in. This is Karen making things up, just flexing. Martha's hand on my arm. And you think pointing that out will make her back down? She lives for this stuff. She was right, but I couldn't just roll over. Every dent on that boat was a memory. My daughter, 7 years old, putting a nice new scar down the side, trying to dock it herself. Paying the fine felt like admitting Karen's power was real, like she could slap a price tag on my own peace. I said I'd just talk to her, reason with her, show her the bylaws. Yeah, famous last words. Next day, I walk into the clubhouse during office hours. Karen's there, sitting behind a folding table, papers stacked like she's planning D-Day, and her sidekick Linda, nodding like one of those bobblehead dolls. I lay out the fine and say, "Hey, there's no rule about private boats, I checked." Karen doesn't even look up, just pushes her glasses up, all teeth and no soul. "The board has broad authority to levy fees for maintenance and aesthetics, Mr. Miller. Your vessel is a concern." I tell her, it's a fishing boat, not a nuclear sub. Linda chimes in, screechy. "It's visible from the road. That's an aesthetic issue. Plus, we have reports of oil leaks. Environmental concern." Total lie. I know my way around a motor. My boat doesn't leak. I call her out. She shrugs, all fake sympathy. "Well, that's what was reported." The fine stands. Oh, and now it's $500. Just like that. Meeting over before it even began. Didn't stop there. Next, a notice taped to my garage. Tow the boat if not in an approved facility. Inspection started. Linda lurking at my property line with a clipboard, snapping pictures. I talked to neighbors, but most just looked away. "You can't win, Jack. Just let it go. She'll make your life hell." And at the next meeting, Karen shamed me publicly. Some residents think the rules don't apply to them. Didn't name me, but everyone stared. I burned with quiet rage, wanted to shout her down, but what's the point? This was her court, and I was just a warm-up act for her little show. Driving home, I realized Karen didn't want fairness, she wanted control. She wanted to break me. But that lake, that was mine. I couldn't just roll over. The only weapon I had was the truth, and it wasn't enough. So, I did what I know, treated it like a wiring job. Find a short and fix it. I spent a week with the HOA documents spread across my workbench, reading every miserable word, cross-referencing amendments. Martha bringing coffee, worried but supportive. After 3 days, buried in an appendix, there it was. Association's jurisdiction ends at the high water mark of the lake. That's the line. HOA doesn't own the lake. All her threats were a bluff. Didn't confront her right away. I started showing neighbors, one by one. See? They don't own the lake. Most were too scared. Karen will just fine you for something else. Compliance was baked in. The rumor mill fired up. Linda telling folks I was going to sue everyone, that I was the problem. My kid came home, devastated. Her friend's mom said I was getting the pool shut down. Lies, but the damage was done. Community turned hostile. Martha's anxiety was constant. Jack, they put a lien on the Hendersons for a satellite dish last year. We can't risk this house. I understood, but backing down now was surrendering my soul. Then I got a new fine, improperly stored garden equipment. Wheelbarrow visible for 2 hours. Retaliation, plain as day. But this time, I wrote a formal letter, quoted the right section, attached a photo, sent it certified mail. 2 weeks later, the fine was quietly rescinded. No apology, but it was a win. Word got out. George nodded at me. Bill, the old retiree, asked me to help with a bird feeder fine, found a loophole. Suddenly, Karen's power had cracks in it. That's when she went nuclear. Announced the Lakeside Fishing Club. $500 to join, $200 annual dues. Only members could launch boats. New gate at the ramp. My own daughter couldn't fish off our dock. She turned a community into a private club, monetizing a lie. I was done fighting her on her turf. I had to change the game. First stop, county records. The lake, the land beneath, and 50 feet around it. Never actually transferred to the developer. Still owned by a dormant trust set up by the valley's original farmers. Trust now managed by a sleepy bank in another state. I smelled an opportunity. Told Martha. She was terrified. We can't buy a lake, Jack. But this wasn't about money. It was about not letting them write the rules of our lives. Called Sarge, my old team leader from the service, now running his own logistics outfit. Met him at a greasy diner, laid out the story. Sarge grinned. You want to buy the pond and kick the queen bee off her throne? I'm in. He offered a business loan on the spot. While lawyers put together the offer, I played it cool, paid the original fine, stopped arguing. Karen, sensing my silence, doubled down on rumors, said I was being investigated, facing foreclosure. My daughter was bullied at the dock. Karen's kid and her friends called her a trespasser, knocked her tackle box into the water. That was the line. She hadn't just come for me. She came for my kid. The next week, a new steel gate went up. Members only. Karen and her club threw barbecues by the water, laughing loud enough to carry across the lake. The fines kept coming. Garbage can out too long. A single weed in my flower bed. Grocery shopping now happened in the next town, just to avoid the whispers. My confidence faded. Maybe I was ruining everything for my family. Then came the emergency community vote. Karen painted me as a menace, a threat to property values. She called a vote to grant the club exclusive lake access. Nearly everyone raised their hand for her. I walked out, feeling every eye on me. That night, I stared at the unsigned lake purchase papers. I almost quit. I was tired, isolated, dragging my family through hell. Then, a knock at the workshop door. Bill, the old man from down the street, brought 2 beers. People like that, he said, they feed on fear. They count on good people getting tired. You're the only one with the guts to tear the fence down. I signed a contract. Sent it to the lawyer. The fear was still there, but now it was mixed with steel. 2 weeks later, at the HOA meeting, Karen was in her element. Victory lap, cookies, new landscaping rules aimed right at me. I sat in the back, silent. The deed had recorded 3 days prior. She called me out publicly, ordered my boat and trailer removed, threatened a restraining order. I stood, walked to the front, not to her podium, but the whiteboard. I asked where the bylaws gave her power over the lake. She blustered, said the board had authority, the club had management rights. I smiled, drew a map, tacked up the county plat showing the HOA line stopping at the water. Then came the kill shot, the deed. I held up a certified copy, told everyone. As of 4:15 Tuesday, I am the legal owner of the lake, the land, the docks, and a 50-foot buffer around the shore. Your fishing club's lease is void. I'm terminating all access agreements. The gate comes down tomorrow. But don't worry, the lake is open to all residents. Free. No clubs, no fees. The room exploded. Karen was speechless. The very next day, Sarge and I, with a bolt cutter and an angle grinder, took the gate down. Neighbors came out, some to help, others just to watch. Kids ran to the docks again. For a moment, there was peace. But Karen, well, she was regrouping. Anonymous rumors on social media claimed I was developing the shoreline, polluting the water. Nobody bought it. When that failed, she escalated. One morning, I found an oily sheen on the water, dead fish at the edge. Called the EPA and the sheriff. Good thing I'd installed trail cameras. Caught Karen, clear as day, pouring gasoline into the lake at 2 a.m. Took the footage straight to the sheriff. As they went to arrest her, she tried to swat me, called in a fake 911, claimed I was threatening her with a weapon. Cops showed up, realized the setup, and took her in. After that, everything crumbled. Karen pled guilty to illegal dumping and filing a false report. Community service, big fine, 2 years probation. Her allies on the board resigned. The HOA voided all her fake fines. A for sale sign went up on her lawn, and she left in the dead of night. With Karen gone, the neighborhood healed. I led a cleanup day. Half the community showed. George, who'd voted against me, worked harder than anyone. By the end, we were grilling burgers on the shore, kids splashing, neighbors laughing. My daughter came up, holding a fish she'd caught, showing me how she was teaching her friends. My family was whole again, our sanctuary safe. Later that fall, I built a bench overlooking the water, put up a plaque. For all our neighbors, welcome to your lake. Martha and I sat there at sunset, watching the light on the water, feeling a peace I hadn't felt in years. I started just trying to protect a boat and a handful of memories. But it turned into something bigger, a lesson that one person with truth and some stubbornness can bring down a bully, and maybe, just maybe, build real justice in the process. Now, here's the thing. Was I right to fight? Was I wrong to go this far? Or is that just what it takes sometimes to stand up for what matters? Tell me what you think about justice, about bullies, about what makes a community. Drop your thoughts below. Because this story, in a way, is just getting started.